I mean, Fuego here. This is a Rapido Fuego review, out of the theater reaction kind of biz, as I like to classify. And the big release this week is, as you see right there, Super Mario Galaxy. And so I enjoyed the first one. It was a lot of fun. I'm unfortunately an old timer at this point, so I stretch way back. How about we go back? Way back with the franchise. I mean, playing the original games on the Nintendo Entertainment System in the late 80s and stuff, and continuing to play through stuff like, Mario World and Yoshi's Island, and then, going to play 64 and Sunshine and things of that nature. I kind of fell off, kind of petered there for a second, and then got back into it when they brought up the, 4 players at a time biz for like the Wii and stuff like that. So, unbelievable looking animation, like just gorgeous, some of the most beautiful that I've possibly ever seen. And the fact that, with this being a sequel, they kind of try to James Cameron that chisel, and they go just so much more of a myriad of like locales and different destinations and stuff, especially if you're going, interplanetary, and just going, out into the galaxy and everything. Speaking of space, there is definitely a particular character from another Nintendo franchise that is in this. I'm not going to spoil it, even though it is relatively common knowledge at this point. I was very impressed with the way that they brought that character in, even in kind of a minor role. But really, as far as storytelling goes, is where I found this one an interesting approach, and not necessarily from a bad point, but from, I will say, a much more family-friendly sort of approach, because of the fact that, now this is Illumination, the house that the Minions built. And so, I mean, you're not going to have anything as super deep or thought-provoking as like, the creme de la creme of the Disney and Pixar and things of that nature. However, this one went much more for a family vibe because of the dynamic that they were going for, because there's a lot of children characters in this movie, not just baby Bowser, who you see in, the trailers and things of that nature, but the stuff with, Princess Rosalina and her little star children and stuff like that, and then even some other things that they explore. So it's much more family-ish because of that whole parent and child dynamic that's, throughout this film. I will say, though, also, it went way harder for the adults who have played a lot of these games. There's a scene in a casino where there are a couple characters that show up, as kind of cameo status, and there's like Reference City in this film, which was a lot of fun for me. These few characters in this particular casino scene that show up, I was absolutely delighted. I'm not going to spoil who they were, and then there's a lot of other like really deep cuts. So this movie is also frenetic and crazy, though, and the theater was filled with kids. I think a lot of these kids are going to probably need a nap if they can even make it through the entirety of this movie, because even I was kind of exhausted by the end. But it's a lot of fun, even though it is kind of, puddle deep. So